Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Del questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Del challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. My friends, I'm going to go to the mailbag today, but specifically, I've gone to the mailbag to pull out stuff. And the idea that I'm trying to get across today is that a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot before they even get out of bed in the morning, meaning that their core belief system is that of the world is devastated and that the world has no place to live, that there's no chance of getting ahead, that everything around you is in turmoil, that it's just all going to blow up in your face, and it's really not even worth trying. Now, before I get into the emails and show you specifics that all tie into this theme, I want you to understand this. The life that we live here in the United States, although fraught with change, there's progressive movement to change everything on you, is a movement that's occurred since the beginning of time. First, they inflicted the thought that they didn't want slavery anymore. Now, I'm not for slavery, don't get me wrong. I'm just making a point. There was this massive change that they wanted to inflict on the country, and they did, and it changed, and the country survived. And I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. Don't even try to go there. That's not the point. The point is that this was something that the country went through and people had to live through it. They've gone through many, many other changes, such as women going into the workplace, and women's rights, and the change of sexual positions as far as dominance, control, manipulation of both workplace and at home, and who could do what and what could do to who. All of these kinds of social changes are going on constantly around you. The integration of different races and different ethnic groups and all the different rules and laws to try to make everything fair is all progressive movements and integration of ideas. All of these are painful to somebody. And if they're not painful to somebody, the fact that those rights don't belong to somebody else makes it painful to them. I've been going through this since I was a kid. I remember when the right wing of our society controlled everything. And I felt very uncomfortable about that, but they had the control at that time of the thought ideas. And now those thought ideas have been wiped out, completely diminished, and thrown away by the left. So as you see these changes occurring, now the left has the thought powers. They have the thought ideas. What, are you racist? Are you homophobe, sexophobe, weirdophobe? Whatever it is. Now they have the thought ideas. Now you feel uncomfortable because the Democrats are creating uncomfortable feelings about life. And it used to be the Republicans created the uncomfortable, or let's call it really what it is, conservatives and liberals. Because when you go to the parties, the Democrats and Republicans, they're one party. They both do the same thing. If you look at the Senate, who really controls the country, the Senate has not voted differently on anything in the last 20 years. Those are the really rich and powerful people in our country. The president is just an arrowhead that they're shooting at people. The Congress is letting the small people in this world think they have a vote. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this to you right up front because I want you to understand that this stuff has been going on for 200 years. So, Del, why does it seem so bad now? Because of social media. The fact that we now can talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. We can Twitter things. We can Facebook things. You can have social connection with people that think just like you do. In the past, if you were a wackazoid, weirdo, goofy, out of your mind person, you were at least isolated by the other 20, 50 people you knew that were normal people. But nowadays, you can associate with those other wackazoids. Now, because of this, you have these groups that are forming, that are fighting each other. And they alone hold the true information to society. And if you believe your little group, which most people do, then you're unhappy. Because why would you even get into a group unless you're unhappy? I don't belong to any groups. The reason I don't belong to groups is because I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want to believe their rhetoric, whether it's left wing or right wing or whatever it is. I don't want to get up in the morning and be unhappy because the liberals are destroying the country or because the Republicans, Donald Trump, is destroying the country. And that's really what it is. What happened in the beginning is that the left, the liberals, were always the people that were the criminals of our society. They did everything illegal that would get done. They fought dirty on everything they fought for. And the Republicans just took it in the nose. They just got kicked out of them every time they went up to fight. But they had a majority for years. Well, the Democrats have worked very, very diligently to accumulate all of the outliers of every kind of person that doesn't fit in with the right and brought them in under the tent of the left. And so now the left has 51% vote. You let it happen. You pushed all these other people away, and they've all gone under the tent of the left. So now the tent has the moral authority to tell you what's right and wrong. And so I start here with the first email, and it reads, "Hi, Dal, I recently joined and have money to invest, but my friends, my family, and I are concerned about the political atmosphere that's going on, EI, weaponizing of the justice system, infringement of free speech, manipulation of the media and social networks. My concern is that as the election draws near, what do you think are the chances of us losing money because of positive or possible civil unrest by investing today as opposed to after the election?" Now, I don't even know where to start on this other than just jump in, feet first. What do they think is going to happen? I mean, here's a person that's decided they want to come learn. They've come signed up. They want to learn how to invest. They've got money to invest. And yet they think that there's going to be some civil unrest that's going to come burn one of their rent houses down or their apartments down. Well, the first and obvious answer to this is that if you're afraid of that, then get out of every Democratic state and every Democratic city in the country. Because the civil unrest is only going to be allowed to occur where the mayors or the governors are Democrats. Now, you can argue all you want to argue about that, but we can go look. All the civil unrest occurs where there's Democratic leadership. In fact, if you go to Washington, D.C., on January 6th, who was in control of that city and the Capitol? It was the Democrats. Why didn't they stop this before it happened? They knew it was going to happen because they wanted it to happen. They want civil unrest. Civil unrest helps their cause. So if you want to avoid civil unrest, do not put your money into California, Illinois, New York. Need I say more? Go on down the states. Seattle, Washington. I just go down the states. Everywhere where you see that they're allowed to burn up businesses, loot businesses and get away with it, rob, kill people in the street and get away with it, steal up to $900 and it's okay and legal. Any of those cities and or states, you've got to use common sense and just stay away. Now, once you stay away from those, should you allow this turn of events, which is going on where the Democrats have decided to make illegality legal and legal things illegal, right? And that's what they've done with the Trump situation. I mean, they've arrested Trump's advisors for advising him. I mean, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my whole life. And I'm not a Republican. You got to get that out of me. I'm just telling you both sides are just wackazoids, right? And this is wacko. They've decided to corrupt the criminal justice system and use it politically. We all know that. We see it. Everybody sees it. Except if you talk to Democrats, they don't know it. If you talk to people out there that are in high school or college, they don't know it. Because the left media is not telling it to people. But that's okay. The right media is. And so you're worried about it because you're obviously a right-leaning individual and family. Good. What do? Don't invest where the Democrats are at. Plain and simple. You've avoided and eliminated that. So let's see the other notes I put on this. Don't let the Democrats stop you from making money. Go to places where the Republicans flourish. Okay, and again, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. You got to understand that. I'm just telling you about making money. I wouldn't own a piece of real estate in those areas, and that's why I don't have any worry about it. I just avoid the problem. Next one is technology is what's creating the problem because you're able to create massive groups of people that all think alike. And these massive groups of people are forwarding crazy ideas like, let's go have a riot. And so these people all show up in mass riots. Well, you got to look at what you got. They can't all show up in a state where they won't let them all show up and tear things up. They've got to all show up in places where they let them do it, right? So the next thing you have to understand is that Trump just used their very own tactics against them by creating a group of people that all got together in riot format to make their point. This was a civil unrest. So now they're taking Trump out because Trump broke the law to prove that they broke the law, both of which is insane. And so the bottom line is, I'm still making money. You should be making money. 99% of the people out there don't even care about this stuff. I know you don't believe that, but I love to go sit at bars and ask people questions. I eat dinner at bars. I don't just drink at bars. I eat dinner at bars because you can talk to people. And when you talk to people, what you'll find out very quickly is that 90% of the people out there have no idea what's really going on. They're either left aligned or they're right aligned or they just don't care, right? They don't even follow it. Most people don't follow it. So there you go. Let's go to the next question, see if we can get it in before the break. We may have to answer it after the break. Guy emails me and says, let's see if we can find the beginning of this, says, I'm already a member of single-family deals. I want to get into multifamily deals. The reason I'm not taking action right now is I'm afraid of how quickly I can get into a deal or not. So here's a guy that's joined up. He's already decided that he wants to make money. He decided that this is the way to make money. But he's worried about the fact that the Fed has decided to fight back from all the inflation that was created by Bidenomics. In other words, just pumping the country with money, way too much money, and which created way too much inflation, which created all the problems that we have right now. And so the Bidenomics is destroying the country, and the Fed's at least smart enough to go, we got to stop this stuff. And so they put the brakes on Bidenomics. And so this guy is saying, well, maybe I shouldn't invest. Maybe I should wait because now interest rates are too high, et cetera, et cetera. And the reality of the answer here as we go into break in just a few seconds is it's the very destruction of Bidenomics that's creating the opportunity for real investors to make it big. I'm out there buying. You should be too. We'll be right back with the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
the roadmap to creating the lifestyle you really want. Keep listening. The Del Walmsley Radio Show returns in moments.
What is Del Walmsley, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, up to in today's market?
I'm out there right now looking and buying everything I can get my hands on for a better deal than what I could get it for a week before. And I'll just keep buying. I did that back in 2008. I bought a property that was worth $35,000 a door. I bought it for $26,000 a door. Next month or so, I bought the same age property, and I bought it for like $19,000 a door. But by buying at 26 when they were getting killed from 35 down to 26, buying at 26, let the broker know I was a buyer in a downward spiraling market. And so from that point on, I bought 3 or 4 more. I can't remember exactly. I think it was 4 more I bought from there. And the brokers were just bringing them to me. Go, look, you seem to be the only guy buying right now.
Are you ready to take advantage of the wave of opportunity coming to those who know what they're doing? Join us for the free online workshop at lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
You're hearing the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Want more life-changing knowledge? Access our podcast and listen on demand at lifestylesunlimited.com under the radio tab. Now your host, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to Del Walmsley Radio Show. Today I'm talking about all of the just psychotic ideas out there about the world and about, I guess, the world that these people live in, which we call people living a life of quiet desperation. And they're just looking for excuses to be failures in life is what they're doing. Is the only thing I can think of, because they don't want to get out there and actually fight in the world and make things happen. It's just insane, some of the stuff that people come up with. Now, the reality is there's a spark of truth in everything that they're worried about, because there is change. And the only thing that is guaranteed in life not to change is the fact that everything will change itself. Change itself is the only thing that doesn't change. You're going to live with change your entire life, right? And so if you don't realize that, then you're not going to be successful. So you've got your 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years on this earth, whatever you're going to have, and you're either going to enjoy it or you're going to be miserable with it. Stuff is going to take shots at you. The world will try to knock you off your pony. It's all around you. It's going to happen. People are trying constantly to get more and more control of you and take away your ability to enjoy life. All of that's true. That's the conspiracy that's out there. But what I'm suggesting to you is that it's just gotten faster because of social media. It's become more prevalent, more obvious. But the bottom line is, and technology also has given the power to the government to be more invasive completely. Well, this next one is a perfect example of how people believe that the government is going to take everything away from us. So I start here. It says, this is from a Robin. This is another interesting thing. Used to be, I would say, I could tell somebody if they were a male or a female in their name or in their tonality or even in the way they looked when I saw them. Nowadays, they've taken gender away, and they're saying being a man isn't a man anymore. Being a woman isn't a woman anymore. So there's some change for you. Now, it doesn't really matter to me. I have no argument with any of them. I really don't care. But I would say to you that there it is again, a perfect example of how the world's changing enough to make everybody uncomfortable, right? So we go on here, I read this and said, I heard you briefly on the radio back in Pittsburgh area. You were talking about inability to get straight, honest answers about money from our advisors. This is a totally different topic than what she's talking about, but or he. I can't tell if it's Robin. That's pretty innocuous, right? It's pretty gender neutral name if you think about it. Goes on and says, and by the way, I wouldn't even known what the word general neutral meant 2 years ago. So I'm growing as an old person to fit into society, right? So it goes on and says, that being said, the CBDCs are a frightening concept for the U.S. dollar along with the devaluation. All right, so I read that and I go, I don't even know what CBDCs is, and devaluation of the dollar has been going on forever. I mean, a dollar's worth nothing compared to what it was worth 10 years ago. It was worth nothing compared to what it was worth when it was on the gold standard. The devaluation of the dollar has occurred because the government's debt has gone from billions into trillions. I remember when it first got into its first trillion, people were out of their mind. And then it doubled to 2 trillion the next year. It took 180 years of being a country to get to 1 trillion, and then went to 2 trillion. Now it's in who knows what number of trillions. It grows so fast I can't even keep track of it. Again, there's another problem that means the whole world's coming to an end, right? Goes on and says, my money is under 200,000 and I need to do something to protect it from the banks. I want to make choices that can make me money but also protect me. I wrote her back, or he back, or whoever it is back. I wrote them back, they back. I don't even know anymore. I got to laugh at this stuff. And I said, I don't even know what CBDC stands for. Now, that's an honest point. I don't know. And I can't answer your question not knowing. And the person wrote back, said, cyber currency, Fed coin. And I said, I know nothing about it. Wrote back again. I know nothing about it. Now here I'm responding to this person. I don't even know who they are. And I've already given them 2 emails of my time, right? Said, I can't make a comment about it. I don't know anything about it. Here's the comment back to me. This comment sounds like a diversion. Ooh, there I am. I'm now part of the dark conspiracy. It's a diversion. I'm one of the people that don't want them to know about FedCoin. I don't even know what FedCoin is. That's fine. And then it caps. The entire financial world knows what CBDCS is. I bet I could take 100 people and ask 100 people what is CBDS, and I bet you 100 people would not tell me. If I talk to politicians, maybe 50% of them know what it is because they're political and that might be a political issue, right? It says CBDCS and FedNow and BRIC. Why is it you don't? No, everybody else does. It's probably why I have millions of dollars you don't. It's because I don't worry about that stuff. I worry about making millions of dollars. I worry about spending time with my family and with my grandkids and enjoying life and working out and trying to stay alive, stay healthy. You know, I'm older than any male in my family except one, and I'm kind of working on that issue. I really don't have time to deal with it. So now that I've been educated on how this works, what this is, I will tell you that the entire world is going to go to digital currency. Of course it is. It's going to make business simple. That iPhone you have, that watch you have, your ring, maybe even a digital implant in your finger, and you will pay for things there'll be no paper money ever again. It's going to be gone. So what does that give them? Total control. But I suggest to you right now, with my tens and tens of millions and millions of dollars sitting in bank accounts all over the country, that they could shut me down in 5 seconds if they wanted to right now. They could put holds on all those accounts. It doesn't take digital currency to do that. They could do that right now. If you hold hard assets, it won't do you any good because there'll be no place you can cash them out. And if you do, they'll make it illegal, and then they'll throw you in jail. You'll have a cell right next to Donald Trump. So why would you lose sleep about something they already have the power to do? $200,000 is their net worth, and they're worried about the world taking their little $200,000 away from them. My God. I mean, I don't know what to say. That person's never going to be successful, though. All right, the next kind of problem we run into, this gentleman contacts me and says, hey, look, me and my brother want to go into business. We're going to buy this property together. It's a single-family house, I believe it is. And the way we've set it up is I'm going to put up all the money, and he's going to do all the management and work, construction work and so forth, because that's what he's good at. I'll do the accounting, the bookkeeping and so forth. And so we're going to split everything 50-50. And he said, I talked to other people, and they told me because I put up all the money, I should get more. Well, the bottom line is I went through this when I first started. I had no idea. I found a partner, a doctor, that would put up all the money and I would do all the work. And we were going to split it 50-50, but right before closing, the doctor came to me and said, hey, I'm putting up all the money here. You have nothing at risk. You could walk away tomorrow. I'm taking 75% of the ownership. I'll give you 25%, and that's it. And, I sat there and I thought about it. I said, you're right. I'll take the 25%. That was the changing point in my life because I was able to go on and raise millions and millions of dollars of capital to do real estate deals because I wasn't greedy, because I only took 25%. Nowadays at Lifestyle, you can only take 5% on the first deal, 10% on the second deal, 20% on the third deal, and 20% is max because the numbers are so large right now. And that number can be very, very large. So the bottom line is this. This guy writes me back and says, no, but this is my brother, and he really knows how to do all that stuff. He's really good at it. Don't you think he should get 50%? I don't know what to tell the guy. His friends are telling him he's making a mistake. I'm telling him he's making a mistake. The bottom line is the money should get at least 80% of the profits from every deal. And then the labor gets the rest. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley radio show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers. The Del Walmsley show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.